Nice.
Yeah, they were pretty good price. I wanted to look at how I sold on the farmers market today.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that yet. I feel like it was good though. Do you have notes or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna interview me. Nice. Collected 978.
Fuck you! How do you even do that at a fucking farmer's market? Like,
It was the last one of the year. I think people had to, shit or get off the pot, so they had to buy stuff.
Lord.
One lady bought 5 mugs. $170.
I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
All right, now I gotta figure out where Rachel's gonna sit.
Find her a chair.
Do we have a chair or something that's comfortable? Oh, she's got chairs all over this place.
Yeah, it's Rachel. Come on.
I'll just tell her to bring a chair down with her.
Okay. Let's start.
All right.
And then it'll just be a fun little sit down, Rachel. Figure it out.
She'll figure it out.
She'll
figure it out.
She's smart. She's married to you.
I think that was a compliment.
I think. I don't know. Okay. I'm drinking a margarita, but it's not enough to get me drunk.
I got a little mango cider action going on.
Nice.
Ooh, Ace. My Angry Orchards were not cold, so.
Yeah. Okay.
That would have been my go-to.
Should we be live?
We're live.
We're live. Hello.
Hey, Becca.
Hi. We have a fun day planned, don't we, today?
I hope so. I think it'll be good.
It's like a third wing date.
Yeah, it's like your third wheel, or like Rachel's the third wheel, or.
Yeah. We're a tricycle.
Yeah.
I'm interviewing Ryan and Rachel today, but Rachel's not here yet. We're gonna let her just come in hot, and so because Ryan and I wanted to shoot the shit before she got here.
Yeah.
So how's life?
It's good. I just sold $980 at a farmer's market, and you were pissed.
I am pissed. I don't understand how you can sell $900 at a fucking farmer's market selling pottery. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I think with this one, even though I went last week, right? We talked on the episode, and I think it's a frequency thing because, like, there's so many people that I saw this week that were there last week. So,
right,
it's a lot of regularity of, as long as people see you a number of times, they're like, okay, I'll remember you, and like, okay, I saw your stuff. Or there was a lady today that was like, she bought something last week, and I think she bought something last year that was like, I bought an oil bottle, and then last week she bought a mug, and then this week she bought like 2 berry bowls for her kids or something that she's gonna gift. For so Christmas. It's like, yeah, so it's like a regularity.
I forget that Christmas is like not very far away.
Yeah, or a week and a half.
I don't really celebrate Christmas, so it's not like on my radar. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's just like I have no family here, and like I always go to friends' houses and stuff, but like, yeah. This year, my Christmas. I swear to God, if you're gonna invite me over for Christmas this late, you're a bad friend, Ryan. You didn't even invite me to the Christmas party.
I have to make up for that, honestly.
You didn't invite me to the Christmas party.
I wasn't the only one. Honestly, I forgot. Like, I forgot. Rachel forgot. My mom forgot. I'm sure my mom apologized a number of times or something.
No, she hasn't said a goddamn thing. And
I was like, she felt guilty along with Rachel and I when I was like, "What the fuck? We forgot to invite Becca."
It's fine.
Uh,
It's an honest mistake, and honestly, if I had gone this week, I would have been in a really, it wouldn't have been good. I had to have a whole introvert weekend. Like, I saw nobody this
yeah.
weekend. I hit a wall, an introvert wall, and I was out, out for the
Yeah.
count. So it was probably good that I wasn't invited.
So wait, do you have plans for Christmas or no?
Kind of. I'm going to, yeah, tentatively, I'm going to my friend Teresa and Brandon's house.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, we're figuring out. We actually celebrated we did the party and then we kind of celebrated Christmas with my brother's side, because Chris and Jen were in, and then the kids were all in, and they're not gonna be like with the kids on Christmas or that
Oh, yeah.
weekend. So we celebrated this weekend. So like even Rachel and I, like, we did everything and we got all the gifts and stuff. So it's gonna be kind of a lull. Um,
You get gifts from your parents still?
yeah, it's
Lucky boy.
dwindled the more kids that have gotten into the mix. So
Oh, no, that's lie. I do get a gift from my mom. She's giving me the quilt that she started in January that I
okay.
paid for the fabric for. That's my Christmas gift.
So you get the labor, you get the labor all year, and then hopefully you
Yeah.
get it for Christmas.
Yeah, she almost made me pay for shipping.
How much could shipping cost on a quilt? Like $20 maybe?
Yeah, it was like, no, my mom calls
15?
me and she's like, it's $36. I'm like, yeah, it's shipping. And she's like, that's too expensive. I'm like, Mom.
Can't she fit in a flat rate box?
She finally got it to like 20 something. But
Okay.
that was still too expensive. Keep in mind that and my friends are like, aren't your parents like okay? And I'm like, yeah, this is why. They're cheaper than Ryan. Um the reason the quilt is my Christmas gift is because my mom called me and was like, I couldn't quilt it on my machine, so I had to take it to a lady, and it's gonna cost $160. So you can either pay me $160 or it's your Christmas and birthday gift.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. So her machine wasn't powerful enough? I've never
No,
quilted,
it's
so I
just
have
not
no idea.
big enough. When she was quilting it, it like kept on getting bunched up. Like the machine literally isn't long enough,
Oh, okay.
because it's a queen size quilt, and I'm very excited for it. I
Okay.
wasn't expecting a Christmas gift anyway, so it's fine. But we don't really do Christmas gifts anyway, so it works out. But yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this might actually come out like on Christmas or around Christmas. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah,
Yeah.
nothing much else than that. I got a show this Saturday and Sunday at Washington Park, so that should be good. It's cool. They've got I think I talked about it last year. They have like a hut. So I'm in like a 10 by
Oh,
10 hut that even has
cool.
electricity. It's got lights in there and it's got a heater. Looking
Nice.
forward to
That's
that.
so nice.
It's kind of like a little concession stand sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like 60 degrees here.
Yeah, it was nice today. We were doing an indoor market and it was nice. And I heard it was brutal
Yeah.
over the weekend when some people had markets in the park. They were like, it was freezing. It was windy.
Yeah. It's 61 degrees at 9 p.m. Like, what the heck? It's like almost, well, it is December. It's December.
Yeah, nuts.
Yeah,
All right,
crazy.
Rachel's here. She's dragging a chair over.
Okay, cool.
All right, what's going on with you?
Hi,
Hi.
Rachel. You guys aren't using headphones because we couldn't
Easier?
figure it out. So
Complicated.
Okay.
yeah. What's going on with me? Oh, I threw with a rib today.
You threw what?
With a rib today,
Oh,
like,
okay. That's why the pots looked super clean, right?
right? Yeah, it was this ongoing joke when I started doing pottery in Washington that I couldn't throw because I never threw anything with a rib. and like didn't throw straight. And I traditionally have not ever done anything with a rib, so
So wait,
it was
somebody said
fun.
you can't throw if you can't throw straight, or
Yeah,
like
it was just a joke.
ribs are the way to go.
Yeah, they were like, you can't throw because your pots are never straight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I threw about 100 mugs with a rib, and it was fun. I was kind of honestly, I was kind of dreading it a little bit and like a little scared, but I did okay.
So were those pots for Rebecca, or were
Yeah,
they okay? Because I saw the
yeah,
thumb thing and I was like, those kind of remind me of Rebecca's like small cup she makes or something, but
yeah.
I
Those
hadn't
are her
seen bigger
first
ones like
small.
that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna throw for Isaac in January, and so his all of his pots have ribs, like that you have to rib them off. So
Oh yeah,
it was good
ribbit,
practice.
ribbit. Does he have similar clay to what you were using, or?
I don't know for sure. He was like, I was like, "Do you have a pug mill?" And he goes, "Yeah, I haven't turned it on for a year." And I was like, "Well, we're gonna turn it on
I mean, that's
because
how you get the consistency, right? With
yeah,
the length of it with the pug mill.
because I'm not throwing hard clay.
Yeah.
My body can't handle that." You look very pretty today.
Dang.
Yeah, she's got like a
It's
vintagey.
a like vintage 80s rotary phone sweater.
Is it like actual 80s or is it like
It's
you
from
bought?
the
It's new.
80s.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, that's
rotary
very
phones from even further back, you know. And then I
Oh,
got my
that's-
gingham pants on.
Yep. You've got her fake hair in and everything.
You don't tell the people that.
They can't see this.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I tell everyone it's fake.
They're like, your hair looks amazing. It's so long, and you're like, it's fake.
It's not long today, but yeah, I mean,
Not-
it was like your hair looks pretty. It's fake.
Yeah, that's like your follow. It looks pretty. It's fake.
It's fake. I'm trying to figure out. There's a graphic designer that was like really popular for making those type of designs.
What, my sweater?
And yeah, like your sweater. And I can't remember his name. Oh, it's Saul Bass.
Saul Bass.
What's my tag say? I'm assuming 80s. It just feels
S. Dot Bass. I'm just kidding. It doesn't say. Internal
Here.
Stefano Sportswear.
I'm just assuming 80s based on the cut of it. It's like a slouchy sweater.
Nice.
It is vintage.
Yeah, Saul Bass did the cover for Anatomy of a Murder, The Man with the Golden Arm, The Shining, the original The Shining movie. And he always had things that were like cut and like kind of like all very angular.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound anything like her sweater, but I mean, okay.
It's very angular.
Yeah, it is very angular.
Okay.
It's very comfy. I love it. I found it the other day. I was super pumped.
It's nice.
Except it's
Thanks.
like 60 outside. We were just saying that. Was
It was perfect for it because I went to a bar outside.
Oh, nice.
So it was like an igloo, but like the heaters weren't working. So like the fact that it was this
that's
temperature.
the whole point of the igloo.
I know,
is
but
so that you're
today
heated.
one of the heaters wasn't working. But anyways, it didn't matter because it was so nice outside.
Okay. Well,
That's
you lucked
nice.
out there.
Yes.
Did they have any issues with like the wind and stuff? Did
No.
they say anything?
No.
I'm curious
you
if
guys-
those things just got fucked up, you know?
They
Did you
probably
guys
just
have
laid them
any-
on things like that. What?
Yeah. Oh, did you guys have any issues with like wind or anything from the
Oh
tornadoes?
yeah, our shed wasn't secured yet, and it like flew off the base, so I had to go.
Yeah, we've been
Put it
building a
back on.
shed back here slowly but surely, and we didn't have the roof on yet, but we had all the sides on, and
It
it
kinda
shifted by
shifted.
a couple feet off the platform.
Oh,
But
could have been
Rachel-
worse.
Yeah, Rachel recovered it and got it on there and screwed
Yeah,
it
it's
down
fine.
before she came to Louisville on Saturday, so it was good.
Good.
Could have
Right
been much
before,
worse.
yeah,
Yeah.
more wind came.
Yeah. Wow, that was crazy.
Could have been much worse, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
it was
more is
nuts.
coming out about stuff in Western Kentucky about the factory.
Oh yeah, the factory didn't let their
Yeah, they
people
wouldn't let
leave,
go.
right?
Yeah.
That's
The
fucked
same.
up.
They said the same thing in the Amazon one in Illinois, that they wouldn't
That's
let go.
fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a shelter, you shouldn't make them stay.
Or they did, and they got like a few minutes notice or something, like 11 minutes or 15 minutes notice or
Mhm.
something, because they can't have their phones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucked up. Fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And 8 people died.
From one of the factories.
The one in
Yeah.
Western Kentucky, I think it was more. The one in Illinois is a little less.
Yeah, I think the Amazon one was close to that.
Yeah, there's at least 100 people that died in Western Kentucky that they know about yet. And there's only 800 people in that town.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
Wow.
What a disaster.
Way to bring the mood up, guys.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Real
Sorry.
life sometimes.
Yeah, that's life. Yeah.
Did you do anything fun today, Rachel?
I first went to get a Facebook Marketplace find. I got an orange shag rug for the groovy guest room.
Is it shag?
Yes.
It is shag.
It looks like fake fur. or
Yeah, that's what
something.
shag is.
I was thinking shag was like.
Shag can be like the yarn that's really long, or it could be like the fur.
Oh, so it's just like the length of the fabric. It's not like
It's just a look.
type of fabric.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
cats are obsessed with it. They keep
Oh,
moving.
I bet.
And then I got a lava lamp.
I saw that.
It's orange and pink ombre on the base, and then the inside is like the pink. There's the lava. I'm still trying to get it to warm up to really do its thing.
I used to have a lava lamp when I was a
I did
kid,
too.
actually.
So did I. Had a green one. Bless.
Love it.
I used to have a lava
I
lamp.
need to put it on a timer so
Yeah.
that it actually like is active all the time, so we can enjoy it.
Yeah.
And, like forget about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I thrifted some clothes and.
Meaning you got rid of some clothes, or you bought some clothes?
I bought some clothes.
Oh, okay.
I made a pact with myself. I only buy secondhand, vintage online, or like if it's like a small business I really want to support clothing wise. I don't buy anything new anymore unless it's like socks or underwear or something like that.
Okay, put your hands on your lap, Rachel.
You keep tapping
I'm
stuff.
sorry. I'm a fidgeter. This is
Do
gonna
we
be
need to
hard.
put? Do we need to put a cloth here so you don't?
Get her some clay. I have some Play-Doh over there that I mess with sometimes when I'm having days.
One of those the things the kids have right now, like the pop socket or like
Yeah,
the little things
those are
that
cool.
punch the
I
holes.
think they call them poppets or something.
Poppets.
Yeah. Oh, here's something exciting that happened. Did you know? This is a little piece of information for everybody. Hopefully this comes out before it ends. But Wendy's always has a Frosty tag every year.
Yes.
That's like $2 or $1, and it goes to St. Jude's Hospital usually. I feel like I think, and I got my Frosty tag for 2022. I'm stoked because every time you go to Wendy's, which is not very often, but there is one by my house, you get a free Frosty.
Free Frosty with purchase or
with the purchase of I don't know. I wonder if it says on here.
Gotta get those notes.
1 free Junior Frosty per transaction per visit per key tag with any purchase. Offer expires 12/31. Valid only in participating U.S. location.
Gotta show the key tag.
I think it must have been for adoption because it says I love adoption, obviously. But I always think they have good things. I've given one of these for a birthday present once. Best birthday present ever.
Nice.
Great stocking stuffer too.
Yeah, we already got our stockings, so. Yeah, you were asking about presents. We still get presents. We still get stockings. We each got like my parents gave us each, all the kids in quotes, which is like adults now. We're in our 30s.
Yeah.
We each got what, 3 presents each,
but it was like
but it was a box filled with shit.
Stuff.
So it's like,
oh, your mom, I can't even imagine.
This is Deep's light, by the way.
Yeah.
She's scaled it down since there's so many grandkids, but she loves giving gifts. We're not,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
And lots of cute stuff.
The theme of this year for me was lights, apparently.
Yeah, lots of lights, which we do need.
Like light bulbs, and I got like mini strip things and these like tap lights, and yeah.
Mine was
and then always get some candy
birds. And I got a lot of tropical bird
birds.
print stuff for the tiki bar, just in general, like flamingos or toucans.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom still does stockings, or like when we were there in January, she gave us a few things that would have been for stockings. She did give me a gift last year. That was the pasta machine, like
Nice.
roller thing.
That's
That was-
been
worth it.
well worth. Yeah, you've got plenty
It's
of use
been
out of
well used. Yeah, for sure.
My
Yeah.
side is we go out to dinner now as a group, do something
I
fancy.
think that's a great idea.
Yeah. It's just because, we don't get to see each other as often, so it's an experience. We tried that on the Durban side, and right now it doesn't mesh up with our schedules, but we're going to try again in the future because Deech does like that because with that many grandchildren, it can be hard.
Yeah.
So
They have a
figure it out.
lot.
I mean, how much do you like actually remember what you gave the previous year?
Also, I think
like,
Jen's going to love it because Jen's a very minimalist, get rid of stuff person. So I think she's going to be super.
And Deech is very much the opposite.
Yes, but she still gets her she gets her opportunities to give little things. She'll still have those chances. But she actually likes the experience thing. We just didn't get to do it the first year because of COVID. And then last year was a mess too. So
yeah,
it's still an
scheduling's
option.
always hard when you got kids involved
So
and
hard.
there's like everybody lives, not that far away, but like,
Mhm.
you got to figure that shit out.
Yeah. By the way, for everybody listening, Deech is Deidre, who is Ryan's mom. That's her nickname. Deech. I was gonna tell you because you mentioned that you wanted to hear more about like what I've been doing to like make my brain work better. And in a sense.
Rachel
But
was a little
regardless.
iffy about the way you worded it.
I felt like you said we aren't smart as your friends, but Ryan said that's not what you were trying to say. But
No.
Oh.
How are you trying to explain it? We'll let you explain it in your words. Go
I
ahead.
don't even know what I said, but like
I knew
just
you were talking
feel
about political stuff or just stuff that challenges you. It's not necessarily like intelligence in general. It's about like a differing opinion that makes you think more about your own. But then you said, yeah. I don't have smart friends. And I was like, oh.
She didn't say that.
I'm kidding.
I did not say I don't have smart friends. I just don't have as many intellectually stimulating conversations that I used to have. Like, where like you sit down on a couch and talk about.
We can do that, Becca. We can totally do that.
I know. Well,
She's talking
and
about in her
I
day to
count.
day, not like.
Well, I
Yeah,
know
in my
you had that
day-to-day,
experience owning a shop. You kind of just like were thrown into it sometimes,
Right, and it was like always, and like I always like saw people every day, and we were always having like really deep conversations. So and here I don't have as many like close friends, and I'm working with them most of the time, so we don't have as many like conversations that are really like stimulating, and
Yeah.
so and so and also like the closest people to me aren't super talkative. So like right here in this area, not you guys, but like obviously I have a few friends that are extremely like intellectual. All of my friends are extremely intellectual actually. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
And then I was like kind of bemoaning about it. I was like complaining and I was like, meh. Like it was about a specific situation that wasn't you. But and I was like, why am I complaining about this when I could just be like intellectually stimulating myself, And
it's fun to have a back and forth, though.
It is fun to have a back and forth.
Back in the day, they called it a salon. They would all go there and have like intellectual conversations about politics and music and art and this fancy room.
Yeah. But
they called it a salon?
In the 1800s, it was the salon, and the intellectuals of high society would go and talk.
Wait, they named it salon because of that?
Different people would have a salon. So like Mrs. Blah Blah salon or Mr.'s Lord Atherby's salon.
Lord Atherby.
Okay.
I'm making things up.
Anyway, but also the reason that I wasn't having like stimulating conversations was also because I wasn't even contributing to those conversations. Like I wasn't doing anything in my personal life to spark any conversations that I wanted to talk to about,
Are you also like limited based on the people you're around? Like if you're in work, I'm sure there's kind of a line a little bit of like, I mean, you have comfort with them because you've worked with a number of them for a period of time, but there's like the thread is always like work is being done in the room. So unless you're like outside of work, can you have those conversations or like, are you better one-on-one with people?
Yeah, like we can have conversations and we have lunch together every day. So we have time, like we have an hour every day just to kind of shoot the shit and stuff. But Yeah. So anyway, what I've been doing is I've been listening to more podcasts, and specifically what I started listening to today was a podcast that I used to listen to in 2014, and it started in 2010. It's called 99% Visible, and in the beginning of that podcast, like the very beginning in 2010, the episodes are only 5 minutes long, and they're all about designed elements. Like Rachel, you would love this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They're all about like design elements, so nothing natural. And so they're just like 5 minutes packed with all these weird, funky stories.
I think I'd like it that's short too. That's
Yeah.
what attention span can't handle.
Yeah, and
Huh.
so it's fun. Well, it does eventually get a little bit longer, but they're not more than like 30 minutes. And so it's fun to like listen to the very beginning and just like having all that information like back in my brain
Mm-hmm.
to kind of like, but I can't do it when I'm learning something new because that makes me slower when I throw.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped listening to podcasts because I'm just slower. And I think I need to just take the time.
Yeah, you kind of need to get in that flow state while you're throwing,
Yeah.
where you're
Just,
like,
yeah, do it on things you're familiar with, and then the other
Yeah.
times just concentrate with some like background music or
Yeah.
something.
Mm-hmm.
See, I like used to listen to those 5 minute, like the micro, the way I heard it stuff. Like those are
Yeah.
5-10 minutes. Like they're scripted and they're very,
I think the way I heard it.
like very, the words you have to pay attention, right? Because they're very short. So if you're gonna get something out of it, like I don't know, like I'd rather listen to something deeper for a long period of time than 30 minutes. Like I feel like that's short if I'm listening to a podcast. But
Yeah, I think that these get longer as they get newer because he started doing these for a radio show and he only had 5 minutes
right,
to
I
like
can see
do
that.
it
Yeah, in a time slot.
in the
Yeah.
radio show, and then they became like 20 minutes. But it's cool because it's just like very specific topics, and then they become like long.
Yeah. Well,
Then they
also
become
they
like
probably get
30
a
minutes.
lot of episodes, right? So you can pick and choose based on the title of what looks interesting, and you're only in for 20 minutes. So that's also good too.
Yeah, I mean there's 470 episodes, so
Oh yeah.
and the longest is like 45 minutes, which I appreciate because it's just like sometimes it's just bleh.
Yeah, you can actually finish it in a sitting,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice.
So yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, shall we get started?
Sure. I don't really know. I mean, I kind of know what to expect because I gave you a bunch of questions ish or topics ish, but I
Yeah.
haven't looked at them in a while. So
The last time we were going to do this was a day that I learned a bunch of new things, and I messaged Ryan and I was like, I can't do this. My brain is dead.
I understand.
But
your brain was too intellectually stimulated with work.
It was. So we have
What's the
we have
general
some
like
questions.
gist here?
The general gist is we figured that it would be fun to ask Ryan and Rachel questions together, mostly Rachel, to ask her how it's like to be married to someone like Ryan, who's a workaholic and cheap as fuck. So,
That's the exact
That's the
sentence
gist?
I would use to describe him. Right on the money.
Jesus Christ.
right on the money.
Or not the money because he's cheap. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
right on the cent.
Oh, God.
So yeah, and plus we've never had Rachel on the podcast before, and we thought it'd be fun. When are we gonna have Deech on the podcast?
I don't know. I remember we were supposed to have financial advising or some financial stuff on the podcast, and I feel bad that we never delivered on that. That's one
I know,
that got away
we-
from us.
you can do it too
Yeah.
for it. Come back to Louisville.
Yeah, we were gonna do like a round table with Deech, but you always get distracted when we're together, and it's
Yeah.
not you, but like in the general
need
you
to put
always
it on
gets
the-
distracted when you're together, and it's like, hey, do you want to like actually sit down and like do a
We
podcast?
need to be like, that's why we're going to Louisville. Like that is
Yeah.
the reason.
Like plan the time.
Or she comes to us and you come to, or we go to you. She might want to come to Indy.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's always down for a fun adventure.
I got a TV now, so Carl can feel
I
comfortable.
saw that. I mean, she would
I'm
go
afraid
without
Lloyd's
Carlos
just
if
gonna
you
like
want.
attack the TV.
I know. I know. I'm
I saw
gonna
you
have
had it
to
on the
figure
floor.
that
Do you have a counter or
Probably say
We're in
it
stage
right now until
one.
he gets used to it.
an elevated
Yeah.
spot for it?
We're in stage 1 of television
Okay.
central, so
I mean, you could
got
run
it
the
into
risk that
the
we
apartment.
did and
Could put it on the island or something, but then
Autumn,
you
like-
risk like the cat jumping on it and then it'll fall off.
Yeah,
or some
Autumn
shit.
balanced on the top and crashed our TV. So that's
Oh yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got it for free from I forgot to tell you. Darth Ned, who did the thing, who works with me, who listens to Wheel Talk. He wanted to answer a few questions. So he came in the other day and he goes, I want you to let Ryan know that I do listen to Wheel Talk while I'm driving in my car to work, but I do not listen at work. I do listen in the shower, but
In the shower?
intimate.
We're in people's showers now, Becca.
Oh, we've always been in people's showers because Bear listens in the shower too.
How do you listen? Like, do you have like just so loud that like in the room
I
that it's
think
just
so.
like okay?
Yeah, just like with music.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
music is like ambient noise, kind of.
Nah, I make it loud enough that you can really hear it.
Anyway, so and then he did say also that he did make a pizza oven a couple years ago.
We need his tutorial.
Okay.
We're making
He-
one.
He took pictures of the whole thing. They got fire brick from a place that burned down, and
Okay.
or they tore down or something.
I was
And
gonna
then
say, it
he
doesn't sound like it did its job if it burned
he
down.
put like cement between the bricks. He did the sand part, and he put cement between the bricks, and then he did stucco on the outside of the bricks, and then cooked it on the inside, and then built a flue and everything. So,
Wow.
and he did cook a whole chicken in it. So I saw the chicken.
I'm excited for our
That's cool.
potential. Oops.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd let you know.
Love
that
it.
bit of information.
Yeah, it might be going around on the other side of this wall here
Yeah.
if we can figure it out. So hopefully.
We have a lot
Yeah.
of potential projects on the outside. That's
All the projects.
The most difficult part of our house is the outside. So
Yeah. For sure. Okay. First question. Rachel,
okay.
do you listen to the podcast?
No, I do not. I tried it first.
Win it first, like
When you first started,
Like
I
episode
made a
1?
review and everything.
oh you did did.
Yeah, I was trying to
actually,
be very supportive. I'm just not an auditory. I can't speak. Learner, so I get very distracted during podcasts. So it has to be very selective when I choose to do it. Usually, like on walks, and
Yeah.
it just kind of drifted after the first few, and I haven't since.
makes
I've overheard you. You know, and he edits a lot in front of me, so I hear things. I know podcasts, but
Not edit, but
Yeah.
put the descriptions on it. So
yeah,
I'll
so-
sometimes have funny parts and I'm like, listen to this shit.
Right. So I have a general gist of what's going on, but no. I feel like I lived the life.
Would you listen if it was a
Maybe-
specific maker that you liked?
Yeah.
Has there been a
Okay.
maker that you've
But
listened
he hasn't
to?
actively told me hey, this is one you'd really enjoy. He just shows me
Yeah.
snippets of it.
Well, and you follow both of us on Instagram too. So if there was one that
Yeah,
you liked, you
that's
would
true.
see it.
I don't pay as much attention to the Wheel Talk thing as much as your personal accounts.
Personal. Yeah.
But yeah, it comes down to I just get very distracted with podcasts. So you guys have a longer one.
Do you listen to podcasts?
Very seldomly.
Yeah,
Especially
that
right
makes
now
sense.
since I haven't been going on. I usually only do when I'm going on walks, and I haven't. So sorry, guys.
Yeah, she's definitely a music person in the car.
Yeah,
Even
I
on
just
long
go on
drives and
tangents
stuff.
in my mind, and I have to rewind on podcasts.
She's constantly
so.
designing spaces in her mind. So
That's true.
Yeah.
So
I
sorry.
understand that completely. I go through podcast seasons for sure.
Yeah.
I'm roaring into a podcast season, but for the last 4 months it's not. It's been music primarily.
in a drought, huh?
And there's only a couple that I do listen to.
Yeah.
And they're, fashion, history.
Right.
Kind of stuff.
Design
Sorry.
stuff like architecture.
I still love you
Yeah.
guys.
Well, thanks.
Well, I mean, we've recorded 2 hours for about 120 episodes. I mean, you hear me more than that,
Well,
but
that's 240 hours.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
I mean, I have my entire life to listen to him. Why listen to a podcast in addition?
true that.
What do you when you know how Ryan wants to do this full time eventually. Like, do you have any reservations about that? Do you like that? Like, how do you feel about it overall?
It scared me a lot at first, but
When did you first like know?
I mean,
when
you
say
mentioned
first?
it. You mentioned it in passing, kind of when we were dating and first married, but I didn't really
Take it seriously.
realize like, wow, like this is, what he really wants to do. But once I started realizing it, paid more attention to like asking him about his sales and what he was doing and all that kind of stuff. And, if it was my personality going for this, I'd be like, yeah, that's probably not a good move. But he's very driven, very focused. He knows what kind of goals he wants. So it's hasn't bothered me in the last few years. I know that we'll be okay. And we also live way below our means already. So yeah, it would be a pay cut, but it's no big deal.
Yeah, I was waiting
But
for you
I'm
to say
saying
that.
that's for him specifically. I would not say this is like every person should just go for it. Like you need to be actually like very dedicated.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, you guys do live well below your means. So it's not like it's going to be a super intense pay cut,
We'll just see like a dip in like how much is going in savings, but that's why we're saying now. So
yeah.
No, I've become his defender and people that are a little more scared of the situation. So
yeah. Do you feel like well, you don't have any kids, right?
That helps.
Except you have 2 cats who are like kids. But no kids, no future plans for kids.
No.
And nope, this is a no kid zone. Both sides of this computer. And but I feel like Ryan is like at work or in the studio a lot. Does that like has that impacted you at all, or is that like freed you up, or like
based on my personality minimally, because I'm very introverted, so I'm like, cool, do your own thing. If it was someone else, that probably would bother them, and sometimes I have to like reel them back, like, hey, we have a life outside of this. I need your help on something, or I need you to interact with me a little bit. But he usually is not like resistant. He's like, oh, okay. Probably should.
Oh yeah,
I just have to remind him every once in a while.
I like try to schedule, so I like schedule stuff out a lot, right? And then
we love calendars.
I'll look at like at least a week beforehand, but you get the thrashing a couple times with like, I didn't know this was on your agenda, on your calendar or whatever. So it's like, we've got this and it's scheduling and we're trying to plan something else. And she's like, I don't know that you have this thing done. Like, you need to let me know. So
we had like a blowout. Yeah. Like that. I was like really upset, but we like figured it out. Like he showed me his calendar. I showed him mine.
Yeah.
I mean, this time of year is stressful. So that's probably why that was such a point of contention. But
was that this recently?
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago.
Not like blowout, but it's
nothing ever turns like that, because we are pretty honest with each other. So it takes like, an hour of bickering, and then we're done. But usually it's in a car ride from Louisville.
Yeah.
Sentence.
I've heard the bicker. It's top grade.
Yes.
Top grade.
Yeah, just every once in a while we just have to keep each other in check. Like, hey, this is the priorities we have in life.
Yeah.
We need to readjust because we're not focusing on that.
Is there any day that you don't work, Ryan?
No.
What do you mean, like 9 to 5 or studio?
Yeah, like do you take Sundays off?
The only time.
Yeah, I would say vacation normally. I mean, you can't say that you're not doing like anything for.
If he
like, I don't just take a day off. Like
in Kentucky or anywhere near things that could happen.
Yeah.
In his business, he is in his business.
I mean, when we're like out of town or something, like in Louisville, like I generally like don't post on Instagram much. I will check
you
Instagram,
bring stuff
but
to like ship and stuff sometimes. It depends.
Yeah.
Like he brought stuff to ship
the
orders, and sometimes he has to work on like podcast editing or.
Yeah, but I mean. You
photos.
can't say zero, but I would say for the most part, like when we're traveling or something, like I'm pretty tuned out.
I call him Vacation Ryan versus normal Ryan. He is very focused at home, and then
I'm more like attentive and like affectionate and stuff when we're on vacation. And she's like, I really like that. We need more vacation.
But I don't need it all the time. So I like that it's in, pockets.
Yeah. No, for reals. I
It
get
feels
that.
more
Like
special.
you guys are like a team, and then when you go on vacation, it's like, oh hey, we're married. Like,
Right. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot about that. That's,
oh, I forgot.
But I mean, yeah, we definitely have to. But we do like have to schedule those like vacations and stuff.
yeah,
Like
it's not usually, we can't just go
we're
on
gonna
a
fit
whim.
that in. We're not just gonna be like, hey, are you off on Friday? All right, let's go.
But our
'Cause-
time is to ourselves. It still feels like focused
Yeah.
on each other. That's why we like to take lots of little trips.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you? I mean, Becca, when we went on our vacation, did you feel like I was still like in work mode at all, or like we were
No.
pretty? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean it was totally relaxed and like we
Yeah.
didn't really do anything. I mean, obviously we did a few things together, but like
Mhm.
no.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I try to when I'm like in person with people to like put my phone down, or like if we're out to dinner with people, like not take my phone out, because I know people habitually do that, and I'm on my phone all the time when I'm by myself. So like,
Mhm.
I mean, it sounds like I'm trying to like, you know, boast or whatever, but it's like I try to
No.
keep my phone in my pocket when I can,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
unless I'm like sitting in my parents' house and we're just sitting around.
We've
I
Yeah.
might
gotten in the
not,
habit
but
even on vacation, like just taking the photos that we want, and then later when you have downtime, like don't like
yeah.
be focused in the moment on having to be on Instagram.
I mean, I think
or
I've
something.
told you that. Like,
We
you've
both-
been editing photos or something. I'm like, do you have to edit?
No, I
Are
don't
you
even.
editing
I don't
photos?
anymore. Yeah, I used to have to be like, it has to be right now. It has to be that moment that I
Yeah.
took
Yeah.
that picture. But I'm like, nah.
But you'll
you
just
know.
like veg out when we get back, and you'll
Yeah,
just
do
do
it
it for
then.
like 2
It's
hours or
just
something.
easier.
Yeah. Like when we were on the trip, it was like during the day it was like, we were doing stuff and like off the phones and other than like maps and shit, and then you guys were riding or whatever. But like when we were out and about, there was no phones, and then when we get to the hotel, it was like, okay, let me edit this.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
But
which
that's
was
the time
fine.
to
Like
do
I
it,
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how we try to take it in life too. Like put our phones down more when we're
Yeah.
around family, unless it's like we're just chilling at home. But like, we have lots of nieces and nephews now. We try to spend time with them and our families.
Yeah. I'm definitely less comfortable like having other people into my like Instagram and stuff. Like I will, video my booth and like myself or like the crowd in general, but I will not like single people out or like
No.
say, hey, let's get into the thing. Like I'm not that personality to be like, hey, let's get in this. Like, can I get a photo with you kind of thing? Like
He doesn't even
I'm
like
more
me
like
taking photos when there's a lot of people around. Like it needs to be like a lull so he can interact
Yeah.
you
personally.
you taking photos of me at my booth and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm not gonna threaten to sail and like chat with Rachel about something
Yeah.
when there's a customer like looming a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah. This is a good segue. Shows.
Yes.
How involved in shows are you, and do you enjoy it or do you hate it?
At the beginning, I was much more involved. I had to be, not had to be, but I was at everyone because we thought that was my kitty. We thought it was necessary for me to be at all of them, and I think it was at the beginning. Like he was still getting his rhythm, but now that he knows what shows are busy and what are kind of like paced where he can handle it himself, I haven't had to go as many, and I think that helps because
Yeah, I can pretty much
Um,
guess which ones are gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna need your help, and hey, like you can sit back. Like
And
it's
that's
not it's gonna be a
important
waste
because
of your time to
his-
be here.
his
Yeah.
busy seasons are my busy seasons at work, and it did drive me a little nuts to have to be at every single one. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would say that it is it's a little less enjoyable for me because I wouldn't say I'm not a people person because that's my job, but I've already done that all week, so like I'm already drained, and he's been at home on the computer, so he's like ready for people.
Mhm.
So I'm really
Yeah.
there as a support system and like packaging stuff. So
And you,
as
I mean,
long
you
as he's
used
cool
to
with
not
that,
package stuff as much.
Yeah.
You would like be on your iPad more at shows back in the day.
Now I'm not. I don't know. I'd say it's my opinions changed throughout the years. Like I think I hated it more at the beginning because I was there all the time and had a different role. And now that we figured out what works best for us,
Can't figure out a
I'm
stride
I'm
of
cool.
like there's gonna be a big ramp up when we get there because we're offloading the car, we're setting the tent up.
Yeah.
Like Rachel can, I got to get like the skeleton ready, or she can help
Yeah.
me get the skeleton ready, and then she's got like tasks of, okay, you can put the mugs on the rack now,
Right.
because
Yeah,
she knows
I have
what to
specific
do.
roles on what I'm good at putting displaying and what I'm good at putting away after, and that helps. Like once he knows he has like a handle on like putting things up before the show, he's like, sit down. I'm like,
because I know that it's just gonna be
Yeah.
aggravating
like
for me to
moving
be
things
like,
around. I'm like, it looks fine, but
I'm
he
very
needs his little
particular,
thing.
yeah.
So I'm like, cool, I'll sit down and chill out. So we have a rhythm. I think, yeah, it's just
plus I
it's
know
helped.
like the time of saying like, hey, sit down for 10 minutes, like she's gonna enjoy that rather than like
Mhm.
go, let me find something for you to do, and then you're gonna be exhausted by the time the show starts.
I definitely like it more now that I don't have to do every show.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Would you guys?
Go ahead.
Oh, would you guys say that you're a good team?
Yeah.
Are you talking about at the show specifically or just in general?
I mean, sometimes I'm more of a background person. Like I'm not interacting with every customer he has, but sometimes it makes it more interesting when I interject. But I usually only do that when I.
She also has a chair that like sits lower, so she's
I'm
kind of
kinda,
like really in the
hidden.
background.
Like
She's
some
like,
people are surprised when I start talking. They're like, "Who's that?" But yeah, no. Now that we figured out like the rhythm of it, yeah, we're a pretty good team on it.
it's a lot of like, I'm talking, and then they hand me a spoon rest, and I just hand it behind my back to Rachel, and she's packaging it, and I take the payment. I'm like, I key it into my phone. Here's the payment. Here's what it's gonna be, and I handle that. And then
he has certain little bits he says, like little things to sell, and sometimes I interject. One time recently, we had a pretty good joke.
Trying to remember what it
The
was.
dishwasher.
Okay, so this is gonna come off as sexist, but I don't care. All right, so okay, so the thing was the woman was buying a spoon rest and she was like, okay, she just got one, right?
Yeah,
she got a spoon rest and she was like, all right, now I gotta teach my husband to use a spoon rest and not put his spoon on the counter.
And I interjected. I was like, yeah, having a pottery husband, you'd think he'd be a pro at the dishwasher, but he doesn't know how.
I can't. She's like, I need to teach my husband how to use the dishwasher. And I'm like, well, I mean, I love the dishwasher. I married it. And then, but and I got jokes, and I don't think the lady heard it, but.
No, I think she did. She left.
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought she did.
But anyways, that was just a joke, people. But.
It's true.
I mean, it was
at the
funny.
same time joking, because he is very bad about. He will do it when I ask, but I have to be like, hey, there's dishes.
Yeah, but I mean, if you ask me, generally, I will get it taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, we've established our roles in the household, and I pretty much take care of the house. Not because I'm a girl.
She even cuts the backyard.
It's just how it is.
No, Ryan's an equal opportunist, other than driving.
What?
No, the opposite.
No, Rachel and I, we are equal opportunity driving.
Otherwise, I take care of.
Not with you, Becca. You love to drive, so I'm like, hey, if you want it, take it.
Yes, but otherwise, I take care of the house, take care of the yard. I grocery shop, I clean, because he has 2 jobs, and I have a very sporadic, like 12 hours a day, and then off 2 days, and then. Yeah, so I just decided he is not going to do the things I want him to do, so I'm going to do them instead. Unless I ask him.
And if you do need help,
he picks up when I need him to.
I'll find time to do it.
But it's not going to be.
It depends on the schedule. It's not going to be the top priority for me.
No, it's definitely not. So it used to be that way. I would be like, you need to do this, this, and this. Split up the chores. And I was like, oh no, this is never going to happen because he will just forget. So.
Well, yeah, and I think that I mean every couple has their like, you always have a system, and that's your system.
Just like she probably has no idea how to pay our bills, but like I take care of all of that.
He quizzed me one day on how much we pay for each, and I was very close.
You're kind of close, but could you go in and pay it?
Yeah.
If you had to.
I know you're logging information. It bothered me at first that it seemed very sexist, like I took over the roles like a 50s housewife would, but like it's just how it works out in a relationship, so it's fine.
Yeah, and also you aren't equal opportunists when you're driving, because if you were, then you would drive all the time because she does all the housekeeping.
No, I'm talking about in relation to driving. You just flipped the script.
Mind blown. Never driving again.
I don't like this, Becca. Get the hell out of here. By equal opportunity driving, that means that when we go to Louisville together, I will drive there, she will drive back, and we will pretty much equally split the driving. So like she drives from my parents to her parents, and then I drive from her parents to my
Get
parents.
your own
So
groceries, you fool.
Rachel, what's your least favorite thing to do in the whole world?
In relation to him? Like pottery?
It's driving, right?
Oh, I mean, it depends
I'm
on
not
the driving.
driving though.
I
Least
just don't
favorite
like,
thing?
I don't like unfamiliar,
Parallel parking? I
parallel
don't
parking,
know.
yeah. I will
Backing up?
I will drive further and walk further to pull into a spot. I live in an apartment with parallel parking. What are you trying to hint at?
What are you pointing at?
She's literally off the camera.
Get in the camera.
Hi, sorry.
So disrespectful.
I made a swirly chair, so I keep
Swivel chair.
There you go.
Yeah, I keep moving. I just don't. I mean, there's so many options. What I don't know. I don't like driving in certain situations, but I drive more than him. Way more than him.
Because I work from home. I don't drive.
But I like go out and about and
Go thrift and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Let's see,
I
next
don't have a good
question.
answer for that.
That's okay. It was kind of like a joke, but it was fine. I'm
not a comedian though. I'm a flight attendant.
Oh yeah, that's good. Nobody ever heard that she is a flight attendant. That's her regular job.
Yes.
Let's see.
Don't quit your day job.
I might.
That was kind of funny.
How do you we obviously know you support Ryan. How do your like families feel like going to like a full-time thing? Has there been any like pushback?
I don't get any of this. Rachel gets all of it. I don't understand it.
I am the speaker of the couple.
The house.
They tell me things and then I convey them to Ryan because I am the one that emotes. So I'm usually the one that gets the feelings from others.
But the thing is, like, if anybody asks me anything, I'll answer honestly.
But
I'm not
tell
gonna
me
bring
how
stuff
they
up.
actually feel. I'm usually the one that gets the real deal.
Well, how do they feel?
Okay. Love you guys, family. Don't take offense to this. They're scared. Both sides. Are both.
I think that's reasonable.
It is reasonable. I'm not saying it's. But you know, they're coming from an outside perspective. Like they do know a lot about everything, but they're never gonna know the true day-to-day experience. Mm-hmm. And they also come from different generation. So being a small business owner is a lot scarier.
I mean, your dad has his own small business for a number of years.
That was just funny. He's the most like, oh my God. And I'm like, Dad, you owned a small business your whole life. But I guess he's coming.
That's probably why he's like that.
And he retired.
Right, but he's successful at it.
He also knew the hours that he put in when you all were children.
But my parents are also
a
huge worrywarts, and that's where I get it from. So they're always going to be that way. And I try to reassure them that, hey, if it was me saying I'm going to quit my job and start my business, they'd be like, that's dumb. But
would they say that's dumb?
In a nicer way. Like, should you though? But I'm like, hey, you know how Ryan is. He's very dedicated. He's got, he knows what he's doing. But also, they also see that he has a very successful 9-to-5 job that pays a lot more than what we're going to start out if he goes full time. And that is true. But like we said, we live below our means and we've been saving for a reason. So they're going to be parents. They're parents. They're worried because of that. That's the only reason, they don't want us to struggle. Mm-hmm. That's really what it is. It's not that they don't believe in them. They just don't want us to struggle, which is fair.
Anything about my side that you mentioned, mostly your side, but
because my parents, worry a lot.
I don't. Who have you had more conversations with about it?
Me?
I'd say it's pretty equal.
I'm talking to Rachel.
Because we had this whole pact that we weren't going to say anything for a while, and all of a sudden you blurted it out one day, and it wasn't me, by the way, it was you.
It was in response to an honest question, and it was.
And Ryan doesn't lie.
Usually it's me.
I'm not lying about it.
Usually I'm the one that blurts stuff out, but It's only been in the last 6 months that they knew that we were looking at that in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it worries them because we just bought a new house.
Oh yeah,
but
I did that. I bought a house and then quit my job a week later.
Yeah, once you get the loan documents figured out, you're like, all right, now I'm set. I'm good. I don't need any big loans on the short term. Let's do this.
Yeah. No, your parents had the same general concerns as mine.
Yeah.
It's really just, making sure that they don't want us to struggle. Really. It's nothing it's nothing beyond that. It's not that they don't think you're capable.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be parents, right? They're going to want the better for their kids than they had.
And a lot of people hear those stereotypes about artists. That struggling artists.
But I mean, I wouldn't even say that like I'm leaving my job to be an artist. I would say to be like I'm first and foremost like entrepreneur is the way I would say it more so than like artist, because I'm very business minded. I'm not. My mind is way more analytical and business minded. But
people forget that is you're very well balanced that way. They think about how me, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get my degree in art history, and then I got a master's degree that I didn't use, and that's how they see it. Like just this like useless degree. They forget that like you have a very analytical business side to it. It's not just frivolous art out there. You think of it.
I mean, he's the only reason the podcast is here.
I'm the only reason.
I probably would have dropped it like a year ago.
I do appreciate the consistency.
Yeah.
I'm in this for the long haul, Becca.
I know.
Don't you quit, Becca.
This is our child.
Don't quit on me.
We have a toddler.
It's the only time.
We'll talk toddler.
Yes.
I'm the type that I don't believe in general answers. It's all circumstance oriented. So that I would feel like a normal parent to a normal person. I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty scary. But with Ryan,
but also like I don't know. Like I know my mom listens to the podcast, so like she probably has a good sense of my mind more so than
I think so.
My other parents, our other parents do.
Mm-hmm.
Because she probably knows that sense, like she knows my business sense way more, and I generally don't talk about like the clay business or anything. They'll just be like, "Hey, how's your clay business going? How's your pottery going?" And I'll just be like, "Oh, well, I mean, I've been busy. I got shows going on. I got 2 more shows this year," and that's kind of where the conversation stops. Like, it's not a long drawn out conversation. I mean, I could talk for hours about the business side of it if they were interested, or if they, were asking questions or whatnot. I mean, I've talked a little bit about it, like with my brother when they were here.
Yeah, I forget how much we don't talk about the day to day.
Yeah,
my family, like, love you, bro, but he didn't know that Ryan was a potter for like years.
Her brother.
My brother.
That's okay. My mom last week was like, so I saw you're starting up pottery again, like doing the like the pottery business. But it was the only reason she said that was because I connected my Facebook to my Instagram. And
WTF, mom? Come on.
So she like started seeing all the posts that I was doing for the business on the business Facebook page, and so she's like, "Wow, you're starting to try again." And I was like, "Well, kind of."
And we just disconnected that thing,
Yeah, so
that's interesting though that but and also like we share I share so much through like social media,
so you don't want to have to do it again,
doing stories. Like I talk so much there that it's like if someone honestly asked me something and they already watch my stories, I would feel like a fucking like I would just be talking about myself so much, and I'm like, if you want to ask me, you can ask me, but like I share so much that I'm not gonna like come out with it voluntarily.
We also have
and that's
both
just
have
my
brothers with young children, and that is usually the focus for them and for us. Like, we're there to see the young ones, so that's usually what we're talking about. Is we're not really talking about jobs, we're talking about how they're growing up and what they're learning and all the exciting stuff. So that kind of falls to the
you kind of get like You kind of get like sibling light a little bit when
yeah,
you're with
because
the
that's why his
children.
brother and his fiance came up without the kids. We were like, hey, we haven't even really, Jen hasn't really gotten to know us personally because there's always kids around. So that was the first time we actually like talked about other stuff. And I haven't really had a one-to-one with my brother and wife since they've had children. Because when we visit, you know, I want to see.
And their youngest is, or their oldest is like almost.
She's 5, and then,
or she is 5.
Yeah,
so,
and then.
Yeah, that, I mean, that's a long time. It's like.
Yeah. And
you
it's not anything wrong with that. That's just how it is when they're that young.
That's just how life is. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Da, da. What was I gonna say? Oh, I'm switching gears. Rachel.
Yes.
Have you ever done anything on the side? Like, have you ever done like a side gig other than your regular job?
Yeah, I've attempted several things.
And how do you feel about it?
I fail.
What have you done?
Yeah, tell us what you've done.
The problem with me is I like to dabble in lots of different arts, so that's my weakness. Is I can't just stick to like he loves pottery, he does pottery. I like to dabble things, so it's short lived. I tried making lanyards for our badges at work, and
because you made some crafty ones for yourself,
yeah, like
and then you get those questions,
and like they said fishing line would be good, but it was like weighing it down and breaking, so I was like freaked out, so like I stopped selling.
Did you get that because somebody was like, you should sell those?
No, I just wanted to try.
Oh, okay.
Now we can't even wear like fancy lanyards, but
that's where you get those comments from customers
on and like glassware and stuff, but you know, it's super saturated market on Etsy, and I had some problems with like coming off because I was still experimenting. I just have a hard time with like,
because you had a cry cut, right? You have a cry cut.
So yeah, the first failure I have, I'm not good at like continuing on. I like freak out.
It's called cry cut?
Or cry cut or cricket, or you actually have a silhouette.
But. It's called cricket. I've done that.
Because once you get into the weeds of stuff, do you like hit the roadblock and you're like,
I'm not good at selling. I've never been a good salesman. Any job I've had where I've had to like do upsales, I just hate it. I'd rather just someone like, you like it, cool, you want it, I'll make it. But I'm not going to actively put myself out there. So the most recent 2 things I do that are semi-successful, but I don't broadcast it all the time. I just do it when people ask. I sell vintage, sometimes online.
Marketplace, eBay.
Once we bought the house, I've paused for a bit. And then I do some interior design work for people because they just know I like doing it, but I don't put it out there very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rachel's like the only human being that likes painting.
I paint everything.
I literally have not picked up a paintbrush.
I've had people ask me to paint their houses.
I mean, that's probably the thing that you've dug in the most with is like the antiquing and the selling.
And
you also have that experience.
That is my strength, I found, but I'm never gonna be on Ryan's level of it. It's gonna be more like it might grow organically, but I'm never gonna push it super hard.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like because Ryan has like a side gig, do you ever feel like you're like competing?
I also don't want to compete with his because honestly, like.
Not compete, but like you mean time compete.
Not like saying that you would, you know.
Not selling compete, like you're at the same show as me.
Right.
You're just talking
about
like time.
Yeah, time management. Like I don't want to take up our lives with something that's just. I want it to stay fun. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Like, Brian sees it as a business and making money. I see it as I want to keep it enjoyable, and when it gets to the point where it's not, I don't want to do it anymore.
That's where I try to like get my business sense on Rachel. I'm like, hey, you could totally like make these paper cut things and sell them.
Yeah, and it drives me nuts. Okay, so I make paper cut art, and that is another thing I forgot. The last decade, I very suddenly like people are like, hey, I really want you to make a paper cut piece or I gift them. And I don't know if people know what that means. You
used to do it manually with an X-Acto blade.
I still do. When I feel like I really need to be artsy.
Cardstock, is that?
Just scrapbook paper. It's like a little thicker. I make like 3D pieces, usually floral. I've done it a lot for like a lot of baby rooms, but I only do that when people ask because Ryan tried to make it a business and it made it not fun.
I didn't throw you in, but I was
You
like, you
tried.
could do this, you could do that.
I really don't want to. It's only fun
Yeah.
when it comes up. When it like a specific person's like, I want this. I'm like, cool, that sounds awesome. I don't want to like think of it on my own.
I'd try to help
I
you
have
with
one
pricing
piece.
though.
I have one piece in our house that's ours because I finally found something I wanted to make
Yeah.
for us. But otherwise, everyone else has them.
Yeah. I mean,
Would
you
you
do
make
struggle
me
with
a
pricing lot.
geometric one?
Yeah. See, you give me an idea and I'm cool, but you tell me to sell it on Etsy and I'm like, no.
No.
So
Yeah.
I'll paint you a painting and you make me a geometric paper art thing and we'll trade.
Okay.
Tradesies.
Sweet.
Yes.
And she's really good at it. Like the
Yeah, she is really
silhouette
good at it.
adds so much more ability of what you can do, and then also the it cuts out a lot of the time,
It
but
does
you can
and
get
it doesn't.
more.
I started going back to hand doing it because honestly, finding the right shapes that are legal to like download and stuff is more time consuming than just making.
Otherwise,
it
you
myself.
have to do a
So
lot of
I
Photoshop
haven't
skills.
used the Cricut unless I need like letters that are precise and stuff, or like really tiny.
Yeah.
Or like stuff that, like I'm making some shirts for someone at work for their children, like obviously like letters and stuff.
Open the camera.
I'm sorry. I'm not
And
good
also
at
the
this.
mic is bare.
I'm sorry.
Talking at me, which
I'm
is
sorry.
breezing over the mic. Like
I don't know how this works. Yeah, I like doing it by hand, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see
Our
that.
program's about to be obsolete on our old laptop, so.
I'm sure we can download it on.
Rebecca has the silhouette,
Mhm.
and I've been using it to do some custom cups because I do the stickers and then make them as a stencil.
Right.
I swear to God, I'm impressed that I didn't throw this motherfucker across the room.
It can
It
be
is-
frustrating. Mhm.
The machine, the
Yeah.
Cricut or silhouette.
And I remember when we bought it, like she bought it and I set it up for her. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And one of us, she goes, if you need any help. And I was like, are you kidding me? Every white woman in America knows how to do this. If they can do it, we can do it. And and then I've decided that
every
some
mom in
fucking
America
white
has
woman's-
this.
Yeah, some middle-aged mom's like husband designed the fucker so that they spend 5,000 hours at it just trying to fix it. It's so fucking annoying. It's designed horribly.
It's very good for vinyl cutting. It's very irritating with paper. The blade dulls much faster. I'm constantly like taking the X-Acto blade, to like recut what it's doing. So honestly, that's why I went back to hand doing it. And also I can say that, hey, I'm good enough to do it that way. So I made some really cool stuff in college. So I'm pretty good with the blade. Just saying.
Is that a threat? That's a threat, brother.
I don't know, what is it? You decide.
As she throws a wink my way.
Do you think as like once okay. Do you think that once Ryan like gets his like does full time, do you think that you will have more of an involvement, or do you think it'll or like have you already set like boundaries of what you will and will not do?
I've set some boundaries, but I feel like it's still going to change. It's hard to know like exactly what he's going to need once that time hits, but I know that like there's certain things now that like he has people that he pays to do stuff and he tries to get me to do it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, are you going to start paying me for it? No? Cool, then I'm not going to do that.
You get paid all the time, baby.
Whatever. So I have set a lot of boundaries on what I'm willing to do. I like doing the background like Etsy photograph.
Oh yeah, she definitely
clerical work.
She's been doing that for a long time.
I like the tedious stuff, which sounds weird. The farthest I'll go on the clay side is like waxing. He's tried to get me like to glaze and stuff, but I've just been out of the game since college.
Yeah, she'll like dip into the golf wax for like shot glasses and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you done spoon rest too? You burn yourself a couple times. But...
Yeah, not as many as you think I would, but that's as far as I want to go on like the actual making process.
Yeah, I was like, Rachel, do you want to glaze or something?
And
And she's like, no, I don't want to glaze.
Yeah,
wanna do that.
I think my role is going to expand on the business side, but it's not going to expand on the creative side. I'd rather keep my focus on my creative endeavors and then just help him with the stuff he doesn't really like doing.
Like the Etsy stuff is pretty.
It's tedious.
It's fairly straightforward, but it's like something that needs to get done.
Yeah. It's like hours spent that he could be doing something that
but it's not even hours. I mean,
I'm just saying, like, the skill set that he has, he could be doing something else. Hi, Choo-Choo.
Charles.
Hi, Charles. Choo-Choo. Yeah, I'd say it's expanding, but it wouldn't expand necessarily into any of the making process.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't expect that.
What's the last time you threw?
A couple years ago, his mom and I decided to throw off the hump on some shot glasses, and I realized I no longer can throw. I was okay in college.
Because we like technically like met sort of.
We were reintroduced through ceramics class.
Yeah.
We knew each other. But we like did our homework together and stuff, and I was okay, but you know, he's a little better at it.
A little better. I've been doing it for like 3 years already.
Whatever, dude. Anyway, so that was the last time. It was senior year. That was the last time I touched it. So like 2 years ago when I tried again, I couldn't center anything. I know the concepts in my mind, but I couldn't execute them. So I really don't want to get back into it. It also frustrated me at the time because I didn't like that it took so many steps. I'm a more of an immediate, not immediate, but you know what I'm saying? Like when you're painting or creating something else, you can see
instant gratification.
Yeah.
And you're like so much closer to the finish line that you can like visualize it. Yeah. And it's actually going to turn out like you are building it because
there's more control for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yep, that's my tangent. TED Talk.
TED Talk.
What else you got?
What do you? I don't know. You didn't have very many questions, and then it looked like you had a lot, but then they were doubled over. You duplicated a bunch.
Do you have a question on them?
Ooh, I have a question that's not related at all.
Okay.
I think we need those. What do you got?
Okay. Rachel, what is your favorite tiki drink?
Painkiller. It's a lot of coconut in it and pineapple, and those are usually my two favorite. But I also like a good Mai Tai. You know, you can tell a good tiki bar by the Mai Tai. So
you never get a Mai Tai. You literally never get it.
You get the Mai Tai. I taste it. That's how it works.
You're married. That's how it works.
Yes, I get the new drink. You get the same old because you do that at every restaurant. And I try it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here's another question. Mm-hmm. Val was listening to the podcast that we were talking about Thanksgiving, and I just want to pose this question to Rachel. Have you ever put olives on your fingers?
Fuck no. What are you talking about?
What the fuck is wrong with you two?
First off, how can you even fit olives on your fingers past like being a toddler?
I can put olives on my fingers now. They just split a little.
Okay, I put bugles on my fingers as a child.
Okay, thank God. Did you put bugles on your fingers?
Not really. I mean, bugles were kind of garbage, but I
sorry,
mean, once you're past like 10 years old, I mean, who eats bugles?
10 years, I don't care. We're done.
I love bugles.
You literally haven't eaten a bugle in a decade, Rachel.
I love them, though.
When's the last time you had a bugle?
I don't know, but I like them.
You don't like them that fucking much.
I don't know where they are in the store.
I had a bugle
because they're garbage.
Because they're garbage.
When's the last time you had a bugle, Becca?
Oh, a couple months ago.
Okay, that's a valid answer. She can say she loves them.
It's like Funyuns. We started selling Funyuns on the plane. And we're like, my God, no one's going to eat them. But once we suggest them, I'm like, I haven't had a Funyun in a while. I'll take that.
Yeah, because you only get them at a fucking gas station. Like,
I cannot imagine eating.
Good.
I cannot imagine eating a Funyun on an airplane.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
What?
Cannot eat a Funyun on an airplane, especially when you're wearing a mask like for the rest of the day. Like, can you imagine your
That sounds
breath.
terrible. Yeah, I mean they offer like 8 different chip options on the airplane, and Funyuns is one of them. Can you believe that?
Well, it's the only like non-cheesy one they offer. I'm
Delicious.
used to it because like we eat whatever we want on the plane. Like we have all sorts of crazy smelling foods, so I'm just have a lot of gum.
Yeah. I get the
Also
second.
roll essential oils on your mask.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
On the outside?
Outside. It's too strong on the inside.
Well, that makes sense. I get snacks for work at Costco, and I get the second good chip pack that has like the Cheeto Puffs, the Cheeto Jalapenos, the hot Cheetos, Funyuns.
The second good? Is that a brand?
No, it's like it's still Lay's, but they have two different varieties. They have like the fun flavor.
Oh, you're talking
variety.
about like a 30 pack of small bag of chips. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's got like the wavy Lay's, but it doesn't have regular Lay's, and it has like hot Cheetos, jalapeno Cheetos, puff Cheetos, Funyuns, and I think it has Fritos, chili Fritos.
I don't know that I've eaten the chili cheese Fritos. Maybe.
Yeah.
I like the barbecue ones, the honey barbecue or the barbecue.
The chili cheese Fritos are where it's at.
I like walking tacos. I want one of those.
Yummy.
That sounds good.
What was your question originally?
I can't remember. But I was going to ask, is there anything that you think will change in your guys' like life and routine and like boundaries and stuff once Ryan becomes full time? Like now he doesn't have a day off. Like, do you think that you're gonna try and like make sure that you take days off in the future, or do you think it'll like stay the same? Like, what do you think?
I'm hoping that I can readjust his focus on, hey, there's some stuff housewise or otherwise that now you can dedicate a little bit more time. But I wouldn't say there's gonna be a day off that we'll dedicate. It's just be like, he gets really, it's justified sometimes, but he has so much on his plate that he does not want to help me with certain things, but I do need the help, and that will be more reasonable once.
It's an easier ask to say like, hey, can you dedicate an hour to help me with this thing? Or
so I'm just hoping that
he's
a little more willing to help with those, but I wouldn't say there's going to be a dedicated this or that. And it also depends on where my career leads. I'm looking at options. So, yeah.
So you got options out there, people.
Yeah.
Options.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if it's gonna shift with like, because the goal for me is to like go full time. So like when I hit that, am I still gonna? I don't know. Like my mind is always in a constant state of like, if there's an opportunity there and I can spend the time and take advantage of it, and like, then I can like find time for it. Like this time of year, like once we hit a certain time of year, like gift giving season is over. So, what can I do to optimize the time that I have and do the most with the days? Like, I'm not going to take a day off or just like take an evening off. When there's an opportunity to like make some more stuff for this show that I have this weekend. That's why I was like pushing to get a bunch of stuff glazed and like get stuff through, because I'm not going to show up to a show missing a bunch of things where I'm like, I know this would sell if it was physically here, but I didn't have time to do it. So, that's just like something I'm going to push myself to like get it there so that I can take advantage of that opportunity, because that'll coast me through, my goals for the end of the year, and, making sure that I'm looking good for, not that I like carry over money and make it through the winter kind of thing, like a lot of small business owners have to do, but like I want to take advantage of it when I can, and then, set myself up so that I can, make it work. So I don't know if that's going to shift when I'm like full time, or if it's like, okay, I'm fine with taking a break and doing something for an hour or 2 hours, or like going somewhere
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think though we're gonna have to plan more ahead of time than now, which sounds weird, but I think because he's gonna feel like he has so much time on his hands that he's gonna do even more, that I'm gonna have to be like, hey, these things
Yeah.
are we're gonna do today.
Because I mean, I think it's naturally going to be like there's more time in the day for me to like focus on this, but there's also like I need more time in the studio to like make things so that it's ready for like so that the pieces that I can produce, like I need studio time to actually produce those pieces. So if I don't have time to be in the studio, like I might need 2 or 3 days at a time to just focus on making a shitload of shot glasses or making a whole bunch of oil bottles, or it sounds crazy, but I don't sell the show from December 19th until like May 1st. That sounds like a big chunk of time, but like there's a lot of stuff that goes on between there that needs to get done. And like I set up like lists of pieces I need to make, and making work in the studio for 4 months straight sounds like a lot, but
It's also the time that you probably, once you go full time, you're gonna have to do more wholesale. That's like a consistent.
and like I would love to just have piles of bisqueware like that I can pull from. That when I have shows back to back weeks, I'm not making 2 weeks before a show for things that are going to be finished.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm not good
I'm just
at
gonna
that.
have to turn this fucking camera all the way over here.
I'm a moving person,
She's very fidgety.
I cannot sit still.
She keeps like you keep moving out of the camera.
Just slowly.
Your chair literally hasn't moved, but
chair hasn't
you
moved, but I've
are
moved a lot.
shifting further and further.
And I just messaged her, get in the fucking camera, Rachel.
It's all right. Like 12 people are gonna watch this, so it's fine.
It's true.
I made sure I look cute though, so I better watch.
That's right. You do look cute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is why I leave camera work to him. I won't even look at our wedding video because I don't like seeing myself on film. So.
You'll definitely not watch this.
Yeah, like one time they interviewed me in high school for the new project they were building, and I was not on the news. Guess why? I sucked.
I sucked.
Should have to tether me.
I don't know what else to ask.
What do you think about the podcast? Like, does the podcast fit in at all with like podcast commitments or like Clay Alliance commitments?
Are you asking me or her?
I'm asking you.
Oh.
Like, do you see those as like overwhelming, or like do those affect us more than
it just depends
like
on
pottery, or
what's
are they
going
just
on.
kind of like you don't even see how much work?
As long as I'm like the reason we were like stressed out a few weeks ago is because I just didn't know how many things were on our plate with that, because he usually updated me on the calendar stuff, but it was like shows, and now I need to really know like, hey, this day I have a meeting with Clay Alliance, this day blah blah blah, because we were trying to like schedule stuff with friends and family, and I just didn't know.
Yeah,
that was the only thing, is not knowing ahead of time. It really isn't that he has all this going on, it's just not knowing when it's going on.
Yeah.
I am not an impromptu person. I do not like random hangs with friends. If you tell me the day of, I'm like, sorry.
But if you schedule ahead of time, like she's gonna expect it. Like
Yeah,
we're gonna be here,
I'm
right?
prepared.
She's not gonna dip out.
Yeah,
because it's
I'm
planned.
gonna go. I am committed to going with friends or
She doesn't
family.
need a day of confirmation or day before confirmation.
I'm
she's
a
gonna be
prepared
there.
person.
Yeah.
It's an introverted thing and a type A thing. I have to mentally prepare myself for the event.
Yeah.
So I like to know. That's the only point of contention I have with his schedule, is not knowing when it's happening.
Yeah.
What, like
I mean,
just like if you have a date night at Baker Hunt, you have a show, and especially this time of year, we were trying to make plans with people, and I just didn't know your schedule, and that was frustrating.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't care. Do you have stuff going on?
Yeah, and like especially with the podcast, we have a really consistent schedule.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I don't know that I've said like, hey, we're gonna record a podcast, so I can't do.
Usually that doesn't matter as much because you're already here, and I already know what's going on. But when you just like disappear outside the house, I'm like, oh wow,
yeah,
he's in the wild. what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I'm outside the house.
Yeah.
I'm just
Ooh.
like lurking. I'm just like lurking around the backyard. Like that's a wild Ryan out there. What the fuck is he
That's
doing?
a wild Ryan. Do you like Ryan's pottery?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? What the hell was that? What do you like? What do you specific? What can you talk about? Like the forms or the colors or like colors you do or don't like?
Well, I mean, we definitely disagree sometimes on like he collects a lot of other people's pottery, and we disagree on what sometimes we like that way. So sometimes
I feel like
think
you
he
make very
enjoys-
manly pottery.
yeah, he likes earth tones, and I'm a very like bright
Yeah.
reference
I
person.
do like some clean line
So there's
stuff.
sometimes I'm like, his stuff's beautiful, but it's not necessarily like I think I take it for granted, so that's probably why I'm not always like gung ho about it.
Mhm.
It's around, so I'm like, cool, I can get that when I want it. But
I don't really make stuff for us, so
yeah,
Was
that's the
there-
other thing. He's catering it to a different audience. So
Have there been anything that like he specifically made for you?
I mean, it took years, but yeah. He finally made me a vase that I wanted. I like his drip, his glass. You know, when he drips the glass in it.
Mhm.
I asked for a vase. You know, it took a decade, but I got it.
it didn't take a decade. It took like 9 months, maybe.
No, definitely not. I got it like towards the end of when we had the old house. Anyways,
I was there.
Yeah, I asked for that, and then he made that collaboration with that light guy that made the scones, and I put that on his radar that I wanted a carve. I like his carved pieces. Let me say that. I like the graphicness of it. I think that's why
Yeah.
I don't always gravitate the same taste as him, is because I like the more graphic pieces and he likes the subtle.
Which ones? Like the mugs?
Anything with your carved that's like very high contrast.
Because we
I
don't
like
really
those ones too.
we don't really have those. Like
No,
we don't use those.
That's the other thing, is we don't have a lot of his stuff all around. We have other people's art. So that's why another reason I can't say that like
Yeah.
I just see his stuff being sold.
Like we have a few of mine around. Like I usually might use one of mine out of the cabinet that's like a second.
Yeah,
For a Friday
lot of the
mug.
stuff we have is
Mhm.
Or like
imperfect.
a second oil bottle that we have by the stove, by the sink with dish soap in it. So
Yeah.
I also tend to separate my viewpoints from pottery because it's his thing. So I tend to focus on other art forms. So I don't always.
do you generally like? I feel like when we look at pottery, like you do run it across me.
I mean,
or,
I say
or
my
I'm-
opinion, but it's like I find other stuff on our travels or this or that, but I let your opinion be the dominant one on the pottery because that is your specialty. And I want you to be able to pick that out because I pick out so many things for our house.
I mean, let's talk
and the house,
chair.
like in
the
general.
chair.
What?
The chair.
Which
chair I'm
chair?
on right now?
No, remember that chair, his chair in the
Oh,
living room?
he picked one chair for our house, yes.
Why? He has one chair.
I don't
It's
even think I
$5
found
chair.
it.
Yes, you did. You went to? You already telling me like Rachel,
No,
I found
no,
this.
not that one. She's talking about the blue,
The chair. Oh, the chair.
the blue and the
Um,
yellow.
I like the chair now that it's in this house.
Good.
And the
Good,
other
we
house.
saved it. Becca, you saved it from its demise.
That's
Or
because
you-
that chair's fucking dope.
Or you would have had it or something.
It is
I
is
know.
now. It did not work well in our other house. I have very specific visions of our house.
I have visions.
I have visions.
House
and did
visions.
not. He's very practical, and I am form over function.
She will get things, and I'm like,
I'll make it work.
is that light even gonna work? She's like, oh, it says
it's
it.
pretty.
And I'm like, that's not gonna put off enough light. We're trying to light up half of this room. That thing's like a 40-watt bulb. You're not gonna do shit with that.
People look better in shade.
No, you need light for a dining room. You can't just put like a 40-watt bulb out there and be like, that's good.
I was gonna
I know a thing about lights. That's probably for my dad because he does electrical work. He knows
that's
quite
why
a few
you
things
got
about
so
lights.
many lights for Christmas. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I think that. Oh, I was gonna say something to the studio audience. Um, that I feel like we all know that Ryan is very opinionated, and
Really?
Who said?
What?
Who thinks I'm
Who
very
would've thought
opinionated?
that?
Because they're
What?
listening to the podcast, they think I'm opinionated.
But I'd like to say that Rachel is just as opinionated,
That's
just
true.
about completely different things, and so I think that's
What am I?
why
Wait, I'm just learning this. What am I opinionated about?
literally everything.
Am I outwardly opinionated, or am I opinionated when I'm asked to, like when we're talking on the podcast?
Your
No,
opinion.
I mean you're objectively opinionated. Like when things happen, things happen for a reason because like
I mean, I'm definitely a contrarian. Like, I will ask questions, and I will not just
He is
accept it
devil's
like
advocate.
straight up.
yeah, but I mean you have it's like the chair. You love the chair, and like for pottery stuff and certain things, you're very like specific.
I'm
and
like,
analytical.
Here's a scenario.
the chair was like, "Can I get something? Like, can I get something
No, it
here?
was a
Like, you get
compromise.
everything
It was a
with a house. Can I get one thing?"
No, the problem was we got a new sofa. Our love seat ended up in our dining room forever until we sold it. And I was like, I need something different. I can't just keep a sofa in here. And he wanted something to sit on. And I found the chair, and then I realized the chair did not go with our house. But now it does. So it's fine. Anyway,
Okay. Yes.
scenario of his opinions. Most people, when you get married, the guys are like, I don't give a fuck what you do. He had lots of opinions.
You said when you get married, you mean
like the
for
wedding,
the wedding.
the design. No, obviously the what. Like
No,
the
you
marriage.
said when you get married. It
I'm
made it
sorry,
sound
the
like
marriage,
after you get married.
The marriage part, obviously opinions, but I'm talking about like the ceremony and the reception and stuff.
I'm a
He
planner.
had a lot of opinions.
I was not hands off groom, leave it to the bride kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ryan, if you didn't have an opinion, you wouldn't be arguing this much.
I just want you to
Okay.
back up your statement of why you think I'm opinionated.
It doesn't need any.
Point A,
sitting here.
you, right now. Anyway, what I was going to say is that Ryan is very opinionated and he cares about certain things a lot, like the pottery. Like you get like mugs and stuff, and it's like a thing for you, right? Rachel also has a thing. Like you guys both have your things. Like hers is the house. You're like, whatever, give me that one chair, that's all I need. And
No, he still has lots of opinions on the house. It's just,
I know, but you don't
I
listen
still
to him.
win though.
And then he has like he's got the pottery domain and the business domain, and that's kind of like how you guys compromise on life, is that you guys are both very strong-willed individuals.
Yes.
But I bet if you asked our like family, like they wouldn't say they were strong-willed. Like,
that's because they're the most strong-willed individuals on the planet. Have you ever
what?
met?
Yeah. I would say they'd probably say I'm more strong-willed because when it comes to other things outside of those two areas, he lays low, and I'm more comfortable with our family to like disagree. I wouldn't say I'm like that with any other strangers, but he usually keeps mum on anything political or like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say shit. Like, I'm not changing minds here. So what is I mean, I'll ask a follow-up question, like, why do you think that? Because I want to get in their mind a little bit. I don't want them to just coast on a statement and be like, that's my statement.
But I like
that's what I see interest in, figuring out why you think the way you think, rather than like challenging them to change their opinion.
I'm not necessarily challenging people. I'm just not letting it. Both of our dads are very.
But you could say like that's
so I'm
not
like,
okay.
Let me rein you in a little bit.
I just think that you guys complement each other in that regard.
Yeah. But I'd say our families would say I'm more contrary than he is, for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's just because of what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depends on the situation.
Because the people at work would say I'm the opposite.
Oh, yeah.
Most confrontational person ever.
Yeah.
I give it all to you, Ryan. You're welcome.
You confront with me so much that they're like.
Yeah. I give it all to you.
Yep.
I don't even know what we're talking about now.
I'm a beautiful podcaster right now.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
How drunk are you right now?
No, I'm actually pretty good.
You're good?
I was more buzzed when I came in, but I'm fine.
Come
Oh,
in
nice.
hot.
No, this is normal Rachel.
Normal Rachel.
Yeah, she'd be curled up on the couch watching Bones right now.
It's true.
I know.
I love it.
You're still watching Bones?
She just finished Monk.
I just had to binge Monk because it's about to leave Prime.
She had to detour from Monk.
I usually only watch Monk with him and then realized it's going away, so I had to binge it and then I went back to Bones.
I got her on Monk, and then she was
It's
like,
pretty funny.
I like it.
I am a creature of habit. I just like to watch the same things over and over.
Yeah, I asked her how many times she's watched New Girl.
Rachel?
Probably over 30 times.
Fuck.
That's like going to sleep kind of thing for me. I'm not actually like actively watching all the time. It's like I'm doing a craft, going to bed.
She likes a lot of background noise.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
So, I wouldn't say I've actively watched it 30 times. I've just had it on 30 times.
Ryan, do you have any more questions, or do you have anything else that you want to talk about?
I mean, the only thing I wanted to say was like this week there was a situation where I tried to say like, hey, Rachel, this week's gonna be fucking crazy. So I don't know if this relates to anybody else out there, but it's like, if you can, I mean, it's always like communication, but it's like, hey, this week's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna be able to help you with this one thing that is really important that we need to get done, like the shed, or get close to done. But like, if there's not anything essential that you need me for, can you backburner it for this week? Because I need to focus on this stuff, and I can't be constantly. And I'm doing like this training for work that I have to get up and start at 8 a.m., which is fucking hard because I normally start at 9 or 9:30 every day. It sounds weak to people that are like, I get up at 6, but it's like, you know, when you don't get up.
You go to sleep at 1 or 2.
I go to sleep at like 1. I've been trying to get in bed by like midnight or 12:30.
Yeah.
This week.
That's a good topic. Is that's going to be an adjustment when he's I mean, he already is remote, so he's around a lot, but like, you know, it'll be even more important when he's full time because I have a problem of he's around. I want to ask him then and now my question.
Yeah, I'll like come up to make tea and she'll be asking me a question design wise. And I'm like, I'm literally taking like a 5-minute break from work and you're asking me something that needs my brain.
We're trying a system.
And I'm trying to like balance it so that I get a break for 5 minutes.
Right.
Or to make my
But for me, I don't realize that.
Minutes.
We're trying a system where I might just like write things down that are on my brain and he can address it later when he feels like it. Because
you should just have a shared note.
It feels urgent to me, but it's not to him.
What did you say?
Yeah. What? You should just have a shared note.
We have so many shared notes.
It's so many different topics in my brain.
She just has random things come up and she's like, what about this? And then we just like, we're on a drive and she just asks about this like thing that is actually.
I've gone through a lot of scenarios in my head before I brought it up to him. So he thinks it's a new idea. And for me, it's been going on forever, but not, you know, so it's hard. So yeah, that's an adjustment on someone working from home, whether it's his, you know, full-time or his eventual business. Is I don't always realize just because he's here doesn't mean he's available.
And just because you're within like eyesight or ear sight.
Also, I have a habit of lately drilling while he's working.
She was literally like hammering, and I was like, I'm trying to work down here. Can you like not do something for like an hour and a half until I'm done? Like I literally am on meetings all day and I can't focus, and then I actually have to get work done for like 2 hours of the day, and she's hammering right above me. And I'm like, can you please stop this for an hour and a half? And I'm like, do you have to do this right now?
I do.
She doesn't. Normally you veg out and watch something until like 4:30, and then you're like, all right, 4:30 p.m. I got to do this thing, and I'm like, why did you wait until 4:30 p.m.?
I'm a night owl. That's when my inspiration hits.
You know what Rebecca's been doing recently is that because we all work during the day, she's been sleeping. She's been going to the studio at like 1, 2, 3, and staying there till 5 a.m.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
And then coming home and sleeping until like 2. And yeah.
Is she
and so we
doing
get, like,
tasks just like any other employee in the studio, like Grace Cook
Yeah.
has? She's not like making her own work.
No. She's like trimming and like getting all the Christmas stuff done and flipping kilns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that they're not sitting for like 5 hours during the night when nobody is here, you know? And so, yeah. So we get like messages on Slack. We use this thing called Slack for work. And it's like at like 5 a.m. Okay, guys, this is what we need to do today. And I'm like, good fucking
I mean, that's
Lord.
good though to
Like,
end your day. It's like before I leave the studio, I need to send out what needs to get done for the next day.
It just sucks when
Yeah,
you're
but, I
so
mean, it's at
sensitive
5
to
a.m.
alerts that you wake up for it. Because I wake up for anything on my phone, even on silent. It buzzes.
Oh. Yeah, no, it doesn't alert me unless she tags me.
I have PTSD with, phones since crew services.
Yeah.
Flight attendant thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have anything else?
I don't think so. How long have we actually been recording? I can't see the time on here, so.
150.
An hour and 40 minutes. It's not too shabby.
Oh, right here. I see. Okay. So we started 10 minutes after that. Okay. All right. That's pretty long. I didn't realize we were talking that long.
We did pretty good. It was, yeah.
I don't know. Well, yeah, we can readjust this once I'm full time and see how the.
Yeah, we'll do an
what's-
update.
what's
on,
different.
Yeah. Rachel can be like, it sucks. Like,
It's fucking terrible. He has no time.
yeah, it's no time. I know. I think what would be fun is to just every year like really dedicate like 2 to 3 weeks off that you guys can go on like a vacation or something, like a really gnarly one.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, that
Just
we tried.
reset.
We were doing that before COVID. We just haven't gone on a big trip since.
Yeah.
But especially if I end up in a different career than flight attendant, I won't have the same flight privileges. So we're gonna try to save up for like something, bigger.
Yeah.
And just do something,
Yeah, I mean, I would say we were getting kind of. Were you feeling burned out from just the number of
because
trips
we
that
were
we were
like
doing?
traveling for travel's sake, and I think I'd rather travel for specific things, like we're going to Utah again for ClayCon, or we're gonna go maybe to Austin for the Formula One race, or there's something like exciting and specific that makes it more enjoyable. It's not just like a bucket list thing. That was the other problem with my job, is like you feel like there's a rat race to like see as many countries as possible.
Yeah.
And now I just want to focus, like, what do we really want to see? What's worth our time?
Yeah.
Or like just short trips. Like we scheduled I got some tickets to like comedy shows in Columbus for like a weekend. So
yeah,
like, we'll go to
I think the
Columbus.
road trip thing's been really fun with since we've been staying in state, or in the country. I mean,
yeah, and like you're doing a comedy thing up in Indianapolis too.
Yeah, we're going to see Nate Bargatze.
Are you staying at my house?
I think so.
in your guest room that's not a guest room?
Yeah.
It's just a long
Hallway.
room.
It's a hallway.
No, it's a room. I have tables in there, and I have to get a bed before I go in January because I got to get a mattress that I can put in the back of the Subaru. So
She's driving. Did I tell you that she's driving all the way to Utah?
Really? You're not gonna?
Yes.
fly?
No. By the way, I'm not flying with you guys. So I found out that, well, we're going to have kind of like a slower season at work anyway, and I kind of wanted to take a month off regardless, like from Gravesco, just to kind of like reset at the beginning of the year. So like on January 10th, I'll probably leave, stay a few nights at my parents' house, like book it to Colorado. I'll probably do that in a day. And then
Man, she loves to drive.
Yeah, yes, you do.
and then
Isn't it
stay a
like
few
16 hours to Colorado or something?
I don't know. And then stay a few. Yeah, but that's not bad. Birthday.
Day.
Yeah. She did drive almost all of our road trip.
Yeah.
5 states.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 17 hours. It's
Only 2/3 of a day, you know.
I mean, it still sounds fun in general to do like a road trip for you. That's cool. Are you gonna go beyond? You're gonna go to California after?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go to my parents and then go to Utah and then do Claycon West. And what's great about that is that I can take all of mine and Ryan's pots in my
Yeah.
car.
That's true.
And then I'm gonna go to California, visit Jen, and then actually Andrew's gonna be in Vegas later that week. So I'm gonna visit Andrew in Vegas and then go up to Washington and visit Val.
Your
And then
Andrew or Andrew Linderman?
my Andrew.
Okay.
And then and like do the Oregon Coast thing. And then after that, Isaac Shu asked me to throw for him just to get some of the mugs like up and going for the beginning of the year for him. And so I'm going to go to Isaac's house and spend a couple weeks there. So it'll be about a month.
Nice.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So.
Nomad.
Yeah. So I need a bed to put in the back of the Subaru so I can sleep in the Subaru if needed, you know?
Yeah, so we
Gotcha.
just need that by... I mean, oh, that was what we were asking you about, right? The end of January? Because the thing is on the 28th of January.
Oh, Nate
Oh, fuck.
You can't be gone that long, Becca. You're leaving the 10th, and the Nate
She
Bargatze
can
is
be
right
gone
in
as
the middle
long as
of
she
it.
needs. We can be in Indy, and she can still be gone.
She
It's
has a
okay.
ticket to go with us.
I have a
dang, you gotta
ticket.
be there.
Unless we sell your ticket to somebody.
I didn't know you were going with us.
You asked me the date, too.
I know I did.
Okay, we'll figure that out. But the other...
I just planned this like a week ago, so just give me a break.
And then the other comedy trip we're doing in Columbus, we're gonna see Ron White on Friday, which I think it's his
Fun.
last tour from what I listened to on JRE.
It's like a comedy weekend.
He's only gonna tour one more year and then he's done. So yeah, I think he's funny. And then Sunday we're gonna see Bill Burr. So
Ryan's latest thing is comedy shows, which is a huge upgrade to his country music phase, which was
Yes.
when we were dating. Yeah, much prefer this.
Yeah, Chris and Bradley are gonna go see Bill Burr.
yeah, he's gonna be in Indy. There's a lot of shows in Indy.
He's gonna be in Indy on the 18th, and then me and Rebecca are going to a different show because they had two shows on the same time, so they split. And Rebecca's going to the music show, and Chris is going to the comedy show.
Oh, okay.
So.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, more comedy in the future.
We have a gift
been looking at a
certificate
bunch of
for
that.
up here.
Yeah, we got a gift certificate for the comedy club up here for Christmas. So
Oh, fun!
I always
Yeah.
blank out when people are like, "What do you want for Christmas?" I'm like, I don't
He's the
know. And
worst
I
to
go
give
to
gifts
like
to.
business stuff, like buy me a gift card to Kentucky Mudworks or Queen City Clay or something. And I'm like, I don't know. But now I'm like, okay, give me like comedy club
Yeah.
gift certificate, and that's
We've been trying to give or ask for more experienced stuff than physical gifts
Yeah, we haven't
Makes sense.
given each other gifts for
since we got married.
since we got married. So
I mean, I think that's a great way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you forget anyways. Like you're not gonna forget going on a trip for a weekend and
Mm-hmm.
wherever.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Anything else?
No.
All right. We hope to see you in person soon, Becca. I don't know when we're gonna figure this out, but
Yeah, it's gonna happen soon. Well, for sure we'll see you at Claycon West. God.
Yep. Yeah.
I have to make it up there. I have Fridays off now, so I can come up for a day.
Okay.
So. Sweet.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Okay.
Say bye.
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 Bye.